On July 15, 2026, a Chinese lab called Moonshot AI released Kimi K3. It arrived with shocking new benchmarks that placed it directly alongside the most advanced models in the United States. This chart shows how K3 compares to US systems on the Intelligence Index. K3 scored in the mid-50s, placing it just behind GPT 5.6 and Claude Fable 5. However, K3 performs these tasks for 95 cents, while Fable costs $2.75 and GPT 5.6 costs over $1. This price gap triggered an immediate sell-off in US tech stocks. Investors began to question whether the billions spent on Silicon Valley's AI infrastructure could withstand a cheaper, open-weight competitor that matches American performance. For the first time, the competition for AI dominance was no longer a theoretical debate about future benchmarks. K3 turned it into an immediate financial threat to the American tech sector. Within days, Washington responded with a series of public attacks. Michael Kratsios, director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, posted a specific allegation that Moonshot had used a covert platform to steal Anthropic's Claude Fable model and distill its capabilities into K3. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent escalated the situation further by threatening sanctions. He claimed the government had found watermarks from US models inside Chinese software, though the Treasury Department provided no technical evidence for this. By framing a foreign technical achievement as a case of industrial espionage, the US government created the justification for federal intervention against Moonshot. The government's case centers on a specific technical process called distillation. Distillation occurs when developers take a larger, smarter AI and use its outputs to train a smaller model. The smaller system essentially uses the teacher model as a shortcut to mimic its reasoning and capabilities. US officials have a reason to suspect Moonshot specifically. In February 2026, Anthropic's phone logs showed that Moonshot used 24,000 fake accounts to scrape 3.4 million exchanges from their systems. However, that scraping operation targeted Anthropic's older systems. It happened months before the Fable model or K3 even existed. While Moonshot's history of scraping gives the government's narrative a sense of plausibility, past actions are not the same as forensic proof regarding this new model. To find the truth, look at the verifiable calendar. The timeline starts June 9, 2026, when Anthropic released Claude Fable 5. 3 days later, an export ban took effect, completely cutting off global access to Fable. Global access to Fable was not restored until July 1st. Moonshot launched Kimi K3 on July 15th, exactly 15 days after they could have theoretically accessed Fable's data. Independent researchers have called this timeline a physical impossibility. Extracting enough data to distill a 2.8 trillion parameter model, training it, and launching it in 2 weeks would require a level of compute speed that does not exist. The government's narrative of theft requires us to ignore the basic laws of time and hardware. The aggressive stance against Moonshot quickly created collateral damage within America's own borders. Nearly 200 startups, organized as the Little Tech Association, sent an urgent letter to President Trump and his Commerce Secretary. They argued that banning Chinese open-weight models would kill hundreds of small American companies that rely on those systems, effectively handing a monopoly to large incumbents like Anthropic. By attempting to protect American intellectual property, the government risked destroying the domestic startup ecosystem that depends on open-source innovation. K3's internal design suggests a unique technical path. It uses a mixture of experts architecture, where only 16 of its 896 expert nodes activate for a given task, relying on a custom-designed attention mechanism, rather than a copy of US code. These theft allegations may be serving as a political smokescreen. Admitting that a foreign lab matched the American frontier for pennies on the dollar is a difficult political reality for Washington to accept. That debate will be settled on July 27, when Moonshot is scheduled to release the full weights of the model, allowing independent researchers to audit the code for signs of distillation. This technical evidence will likely be at the center of the US-China AI talks scheduled for September. The 15-day gap suggests that Chinese labs are now capable of engineering their own frontier systems. The real challenge to American dominance is the technical reality that Moonshot has already built.